Leaving Bishop and making our way back up to Kearsarge Pass. It's up there. We made it to our camp the evening of leaving Bishop. We kind of miscalculated our mileage and we thought that we would be going over Glen Pass and down on the other side to a really pretty lake called Ray Lakes. But we forgot to count 3 miles of downhill after Kearsarge Pass, so it kind of messed up our entire plan and hopefully not our food situation too much, just because we had to camp farther back now, and now the passes don't line up very good. Like, we might be doing passes in the middle of the day instead of the morning, which is not ideal, but it shouldn't really be too big of a deal because there's not very much snow. Yeah, this is our longest stretch without civilization and our longest food carry. So we got, well, not completely because it doesn't fit, but 8 days of food in this spare can. And I packed out a zucchini and I had couscous with fresh zucchini and some mozzarella cheese, olive oil, and spices. So that was pretty good. Yeah. Feeling okay to be back, kind of anxious for the longer stretch, but I'm sure we'll be just fine.
The odometer read 342,732 miles.
Just came up and over Glen Pass. Had one little snowfield to cross, but it was nothing awful. Now we're going down into this basin where those lakes are. We have about 2.5 miles left until camp for the evening, but right now we are passing this gym, which is called, I think, the Wood Creek Water Slide. I don't know if people actually slide on it, but looks like it could mess you up pretty bad. You like my attire?
I took a picture of myself.
It's Mosquito City here. So we made a fire because we are below 10,000 feet where it's allowed. It actually worked. The smoke kept them away. So we're probably gonna go to bed now. I think we did 15-ish miles today. It was kind of a hard day for me. And tomorrow, I think it's gonna be another hard day. We are gonna go over 2 passes, probably. But yeah, time to get away from the mosquitoes. Goodbye. Going up Pinchot Pass right now on the morning of June 30th. This is probably the biggest river crossing we've had to do yet. I'm going to waterproof all of my stuff and going to put my inReach device on my body just in case I flow down the river. At least it will be attached to me. We have made it to our camp spot on the evening of June 30th. Our plans kind of got foiled. We were going to go up over that pass right there, which is Mather Pass, and we had already done one pass today, Pinchot Pass, in the morning, but there was a lot of river crossings today, and I think I was kind of dragging my feet a little bit because I knew we had to go up 2 passes, so we went really slow, and by the time we got to the base of this pass, it was like 6 o'clock, and the next campsite was still over the pass and 4 miles away. So we decided to stay here this evening and just get an early start tomorrow and get over that pass, and then we also have to climb Muir Pass tomorrow, I think. and apparently that one has the most snow left out of all of them. So the post-holing might be an issue if we don't get an early enough start, but we will see. It's also the longest like ascent to the pass. It's cold. And my gloves. Brr. It is about almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We keep walking through these storm clouds. Like right now I'm in a sunny cloud, so you can't really tell, but yeah, we felt like 2 raindrops. So we got super excited because I would love for it to rain. We have about 3 or probably about 4 miles to go until camp. We're gonna go about halfway up the climb to Muir Pass. We just made it to camp. We are in between 2 rocks eating dinner, which is ramen and Kool-Aid. Very fancy. We went 18 miles today, I think. We're at the base of Muir Pass right now. So tomorrow we'll climb, I think it's about 5 miles to the summit, and there's a shelter up there. Then I think there's probably some downhill after that, and I don't know how far we'll go tomorrow, but I'm tired after 18 miles. We are making our way up Muir Pass right now, and this is our first section where we're going to be crossing some snow fields. There's a snow bridge right there that the trail goes across, but yesterday I guess a guy almost fell through it. Snow bridge is when water goes underneath, so we are going to find an alternate route. About 0.6 from the summit, and we caught up to some of our friends. We thought they were like 3 days ahead of us, or 2 days ahead of us, but nope. This is the top of Muir Pass. This is the emergency shelter.
One rolling paper.
So we just went up and over Muir Pass, and here's the view from the other side. And so that is known to be the section or the pass with the most snow. There's barely any on the side we went up. Now coming down, apparently there's hardly any on this side either. And this is like the hardest pass. The rest of them are a lot lower in elevation by like 1,000 or so feet, and people say that they're generally just easier passes. So I think we're gonna send our micro spikes home. We already sent our ice axes home, just never used either of them, which is kind of crazy compared to last year. It's raining. Not a bad campsite. So I'm in the tent. It's about 8 o'clock. We got here super early to camp at around like 5:30 or so. Usually we don't start or stop hiking until like 6 or 6:30. But we did 15.2 miles, and it was raining pretty good, so we decided to stop before we got soaking wet or the rain got worse, because the clouds didn't look very promising. Mosquitos are awful, so I don't want to get out of the tent because they're just like swarming out there, and I went to the bathroom, and they took it upon themselves to bite me as many times as they could while I had my pants down. So that was really fun, and I'm really itchy. This is the longest river crossing yet. It's about knee deep or a little higher, says someone that just passed. Today is July 3rd, and we're being eaten by mosquitoes today. Ugh. So to fill you all in, we are right now on the section from, well, Kearsarge Pass to Mammoth. So in Mammoth, or Red's Meadow area, there is currently a fire, and it's called the Lion's Fire, and it's kind of near the PCT, but not, they don't think it's going to close the PCT at all, because the fire would have to like jump a river in order to block the PCT. But this is the first time that we've seen smoke from the fire, so it's really hazy over there. We just talked to a ranger who said that the weather is kind of blowing the smoke towards us, so we're probably gonna have a couple hazy days. I think we have about 3.5-ish or 3 more days to get to Mammoth. But hopefully it doesn't affect us at all. Another ranger somebody else talked to said that they were talking about closing the Red's Meadow Trail, which is how we get to Mammoth, and that would really screw us over because we only have enough food to get there, and if they close off our access point, it means we have to keep walking past Mammoth to the next resupply point. So that hopefully won't happen, but it's kind of scary and exciting at the same time to be out here and not really know what's going on with a pretty big fire. We are making our way up to Seldon Pass. It's about 5:30. Wow. Yeah, this climb has been kind of steep today, but I think we only have like 0.8 or so to the top, and then just a couple miles up and over the other side until camp. I don't know, I think it's gonna be like a 20-mile day or so. This is the top of Seldon Pass, 10,900 feet-ish. Definitely a little hazy from the fire over there. Whew. Mosquitoes are so bad. We made it to camp having a fire because mosquitoes. But we did just under 20 miles today, so that feels pretty good since people say we slow down a lot in the Sierra. So, yeah. When you have a single-walled tent, it gets a lot of condensation. So this morning the inside was dripping wet, and both of our sleeping bags were soaked. So we're drying it off with a towel, and our sleeping bags are over there on the rock, drying out in the sun. Good morning. Today is the 4th of July, and we're about, today and tomorrow is our last 2 days of hiking before we get to Mammoth. So we're kind of sad, bummed we won't be able to get to Mammoth on the 4th, which is today, but maybe we'll get close enough. I think we're planning on going like 16 miles out of Mammoth this evening. So maybe we can hear or see some fireworks if we get a nice campsite on a ridge or something. We are nearing the end of our day today on July 4th. We just got done climbing over Silver Pass, which is the last pass before we get to town, Mammoth. It's a really long climb, like 6 miles or so worth. Took us a long time. Plus at the top where the actual pass is, it's like, oh, okay, good, we're done. And then the trail crew decided to be like, oh, psych, just kidding. You get to climb 0.2 more miles after the summit of the pass. So that was a nice little surprise. We could see the fire from the top though, really far off in the distance. Just kind of billowing up and smoke in the sky. So I wonder how it'll be tomorrow when we get there. Another mosquito infested night at camp. So we have another fire, and I'm wearing all my layers because they can't bite through my rain gear. Today is July 5th, and we are heading into Mammoth Lakes. Today we have like 15 or 14.5-ish miles left to go. So kind of a longer day into town than we wanted. It was like 19.2 total, but it was either that or splitting up this day into a day and a half, and we're just ready and out of food and fuel for my stove, so we kind of just need to get there today. 900 miles and some road rash. We are 1.8 miles away from the Meadow junction, which is going to take us into Mammoth, and still 15 minutes or so ago we passed someone or a group of people coming up the trail who said there's a bear 60 meters ahead and to be on the lookout, but we didn't really know how far 60 meters was, but I think we've probably passed that point now. We didn't see any bears. We made it to Mammoth. We are at the hostel. I think it's called the Division Street Guest House or something like that. We did just about 20 miles today to get here. We got here kind of late, like around 4:30 or 5. And then there's a bus that takes you down the mountain to actual Mammoth, because the trail gets you off at Red's Meadows. And on the bus they just like crammed so many people on. There's like standing room only, and we got a seat, but my pack was like squishing me in my lap and I couldn't move or adjust it because there were just too many people, and it was really hot and none of the windows were blowing air, and like I started to pass out on the bus ride down. I felt like I was gonna throw up a little bit. My eyes went black, and then Nick had to use one of my little thermarest pad things to fan my face, and then I came back to life. So that was an experience. After that whole ordeal, we got some food, and we decided we're gonna take a 0 day here because it's just, there's too much to do since we got here too late. We still have to go to the post office, we have to go grocery shopping, and so we just got 2 nights at the hostel. Which is fine. Mammoth is a really cool place. It is expensive though. But yeah, this last section was the longest yet, like 7 or 8 days. So glad to be showered and in a real bed.